Hi, Heather here, and today I wanted to stop by here and just talk to you about 5 healthy ways that you can cope with emotional eating. And emotional eating doesn't necessarily have to be, when you're sad or depressed and eating. There are other ways that we emotional eat, and you may identify with some of these. But when you're stressed out, and you can think about it as emotional eating or emotional drinking, because some of us do reach for wine or beer or another adult beverage when we're in kind of those emotional, stressed out states, or even bored states. Like I am actually one of those people that will reach or look for something to eat or drink just because I'm bored, just because I need something to kind of stimulate my brain. I will reach for food. So first of all, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Heather, and I am a transformational health and life coach. And basically I help women in their 30s and 40s just kind of step into the best version of themselves. And a lot of times that starts with boosting self-esteem just by finding that kind of perfect body that all of us want to be in, and a lot of times that starts with losing weight. And so emotional eating dives right into that. So I want to give you guys 5 ways to really cope with those cravings to eat when we know that we're not even really hungry. And part of that is just actually kind of dialing into our bodies when we have that craving that we want to eat, and understanding what it is. Is it I think of it as like a belly hunger. So true hunger, you can identify true hunger. You feel empty, you might even have low blood sugar. Like true hunger, you can really feel it in your belly. But emotional hunger is more of a, I kind of think of it like a soul hunger. Like there's something, you need to fill something. You want to make yourself feel better, feel good. And if you caught my webinar the other day, I talked about polarity of food, and emotional eating is kind of this, we want to find that expansive bliss with something when we're in this kind of contracted state, we're in a stressed state, we're in a sad or melancholy state, or even just kind of a bored state. We want to really find bliss and happiness in that moment, and a lot of times we reach for food or drink. So, and the reason why I decided to come out and talk to you guys about this is because I am working on a project, a crochet project. I crochet. Yes, I am a grandma and I actually crochet. And this is one of the things I'm working on right now. And I actually started crocheting and this is way back in my 20s, as a way to avoid late night binges. And I would eat a lot late at night. That's something that I do. It's still part of me. You don't really get rid of bad habits. You just find new habits to replace them. And so occasionally those bad habits do rise up. And I was, back in my 20s, sitting in front of the TV, not doing much of anything whatsoever, even sometimes stressing over work. I would reach for basically Cheez-Its. Cheez-Its was like my thing, like my crutch. And I would reach for things to eat late at night, and I would just sit there and mindlessly eat. And then I thought, I need something to really kind of keep my hands busy. So I actually started with knitting. Shh, puppy dog, somebody's outside. I actually started with knitting, and then knitting was a little too hard for me because I kept dropping stitches. So I was like, all right, I'll figure out how to crochet. So I taught myself to crochet as a way to keep my hands busy late at night so that I wouldn't be reaching for snacks, just to kind of almost entertain myself and fill myself kind of mindlessly. So that's one way when you get into that kind of emotional eating state where you're sad or you're anxious or you're just bored, is to find something that kind of almost like a healthy distraction, and that might even bring you joy. So crafting is a great way, whether it's doing crochet or if it's painting, watercolors, anything, any kind of crafting. Like do people still what do you call it, scrapbook, like scrapbooking, or just flowing through Pinterest and creating electronic boards of things that you want to do. There's things that you could do that are healthy distractions in that area that are similar to what I do, which keep me out of the refrigerator and keep me out of the pantries. Another way is just to find something that really just brings you joy. So that makes you laugh. So, if you're in that kind of mood and it's not hunger, that it's more of that kind of soul hunger, that emotional hunger, that you want to fill yourself with something that brings you joy, that brings you bliss, go out to Netflix, go out to Hulu, find one of your favorite comedies or, rom-coms, whatever, something that brings you joy, something that makes you laugh, and do that instead of reaching for food or beverage. Another way to do it is to just settle into like a nice, deep breathing. It's almost like a meditation. Meditation and yoga are great for this, just to get up and start doing that, because it breaks that mindlessness that we get into when we're in these states where we just kind of mindlessly eat, and bring some mindfulness to those situations. So there's a deep breathing technique that I like to do when I'm anxious, when I'm stuck in traffic, when I'm out holiday shopping, when things are kind of chaotic at home with the kids and everything that's going on. I'll do what I call the 5-5-7 breath. So essentially, I drop into it now. I've done it so often that it's very easy for me to just drop into it, standing in line at the grocery store. Is that I will breathe in for 5 counts, I'll hold my breath for 5 counts, and then I will breathe out for 7. So you're like totally emptying out your lungs. So breathe in for 5, hold for 5, and then breathe out for 7. And just repeat that until like you feel that kind of stress, anxiety, whatever the emotion is, that negative emotion, till it just kind of flows away and just comes off of your shoulders and just dissipates from your life, so that you can get back to normal and feel good. Another way that I kind of deal with emotional eating, or that kind of craving to eat when I'm in these heightened, almost negative emotions, is I'll hug my dogs. Like, I will call the puppies over and just love on them and love hard on them. Or I'll ask my kids for a hug. My daughter's really good for that. Can you just give me a hug? Like, I just need a hug. And there's something just restorative and lovely about that kind of touch and love and feeling that happens when you either hug one of your loved pets or beloved members of the family, and that kind of really brings you to this peacefulness inside that helps dissipate those negative emotions, because you're in that kind of that opposite, that polar state. Remember the polarity I talked about the other day in my webinar, where you're going from that negative, that contractive state to that expansive bliss. It's a different way to bring bliss into your life. That love, that hug, that touch, is a different way to bring bliss in. And then just go out and take a walk. The weather, I'm in Ohio, but the weather is amazing right now. So if you're in kind of that state, just get out of your current environment, whatever environment is creating those lingering thoughts in your head, that are creating that emotional state, that is allowing you or making you crave foods to, take you to that bliss state. Instead of going to the foods, walk out the front door and go take a walk. Go take your dogs for a walk, go for a walk with your spouse or your kid, go for a walk by yourself. Get out in nature and just soak it up. Take those deep breaths, breathe it all in, and just really stop focusing on whatever it is that's running around in your head, and focus on the beauty and the expansiveness of everything that's around you, to take your mind off of that craving that's going on inside of you, so that you don't reach for that beverage or that food, and you have other healthier things that you can reach for when you're in that state that you need to find joy, you need to find bliss, that normally you reach for food or drink for. So that's it. I just wanted to give you those 5 ways. I'll go over them again. So it's find like a hobby or something that can occupy your time or create that distraction, like crochet or painting, or I don't know, crossword puzzles, Sudoku, whatever. Like there's plenty of word games that you can play on your phone that distract your mind from those thoughts that are going on, that are creating that emotional state for you. Laughter, go out and watch, one of your favorite comedies, just scroll through cat videos, whatever on YouTube, whatever brings you joy and makes you laugh. The deep breathing techniques, the 5-5-7 breath, just to focus on that, and it gets you out of your head and those negative thoughts that you have going on there. Touch, hug your pet, love on your kids, love on your spouse. Just get a hug, have somebody, share the love, and that will take your mind off of those thoughts that are going through your head that are creating that emotional state. And then meditation, yoga, get out in nature, just go take a walk, just do something different to distract you from those thoughts that are creating that emotional state, so that you can find the joy and the bliss that you want, and then you're not going to have that craving, that hunger, that soul hunger anymore. All right, you have a great day. If you appreciate these tips that I'm dropping here, please comment below. Let me know. Say yes, give me more. Say hi, anything. I'd love to hear from you. All right, take care, and I will talk to you later. See ya.